everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to a Sacred Union mini reading. Okay, I did not expect or anticipate doing readings, at least until later this week, because it feels like the energy is fairly quiet between the masculine and the feminine. It doesn't feel like detachment, it just feels like quiet, as I talked about in yesterday's live stream. If you missed the live stream, the replay is up and now available. Make sure that you're checking it out. It felt fairly quiet, and it still does. But I was just pulling some cards and wanted to get just some overall energy, and messages just started coming through and didn't want to stop. And here we have now a mess of cards and energy, and I'm going to be doing a reading. So, we're going to check in on the masculine, the feminine, and their union energies. So, we're going to kind of get to all of this ridiculousness. This mess. I don't really usually do it like this, but I just wanted to just keep pulling the cards for the energy before I started channeling. So let's talk about the masculine first. The masculine is in an interesting place right now. We have the world, and I feel like there is a heavy, heavy cycle that is ending for them, but they're kind of in the in-between state. If you see the earth here that he's looking at the earth. The earth is half in shadow and half in light. It's interesting now that we have the sun for the divine feminine. She is the light. The divine masculine feels like they are working through their shadows, coming out of the shadow, understanding the difference between their shadow and their light. This feels like an energy of integration. I feel like this masculine has been walking a very difficult path. And what I'm actually hearing is they chose that path of difficulty through their resistance, through the decisions, through the choices that they've made, through holding on past energy, past beliefs, through clinging to the ego. They might not have been aware that it was ego. It might be spiritual ego. Spiritual ego is where you think that you are completely devoid of ego. You're not. We have to integrate the ego. We don't kill the ego. But I feel like this person really feels like they were in resistance to themselves, even in resistance to taking responsibility for themselves, taking accountability of their life, taking accountability of the choices that they had made in the past that led them to where they were, and having trouble making decisions for their future. It felt very stuck. But the universe kept pushing them and pushing them and pushing them, because the universe is not stuck. Energy has to flow. It has to go somewhere. What I'm reminded of is that even in death, energy goes somewhere. And I say I'm reminded of that because I shared on the live stream that my uncle had passed away. And it was a beautiful metaphor that Spirit had given me with regards to what I was seeing and how that was playing out in my own family dynamics. Check out the live stream. I'll put the link in the description box below if you want to know more. But that's with regards to divine counterparts as well. It's like action has to be taken. You have to get out of your own mind. You have to get out of the stories of the past version of events and the past version of your life and the past version of who you are if you want to move forward. And the universe, one way or another, is going to keep pushing you forward. Your very soul is going to keep pushing you forward to complete cycles, to end cycles, to really rise into who you are. Your very soul wants the best for you, wants you to rise into who you are. It's just the ego that gets trapped in old cycles, in old patterns, in old pains, in old traumas, in victim mentality, in scarce, in lack mentality, in woe is me, and I can't do it, and nothing's possible, or everything's impossible. That's all mindset. It is all mindset. And I feel like this masculine is on the verge of breaking through to a new cycle and a new version of themselves. This person here feels very like Merlin energy, very magician energy. So they have this magic, this wisdom within them. They just had been hiding from themselves. And again, it takes courage and it takes bravery. The We bought a zoo. This came through in a couple of weeks ago in a coaching session I had with a Divine Masculine, where I was guided to tell them the quote from We Bought a Zoo, where Benjamin Mee says, "It only takes 20 seconds of great courage to change your life," or something to that effect. 20 seconds. Well, what happens if you take those 20 seconds and you have that great courage and you ask that person out on a date, or you pick up that phone and make that call, or you ask for help, or you humble yourself and receive support? What happens in those 20 seconds? And then what happens if you build on that? What happens if you take it a step further, 20 seconds more, and do the next step and the next step and the next step? Well, then you're living a life of great courage. Then you're living a life that is true to who you are, because your very soul is guiding you forward in that bravery and in that strength and in that courage. So I feel like this masculine is ending a major cycle. And you see that the darkness is kind of receding. You see that there's a little bit, a sliver of a little bit more of the sun here, a little bit more of the light here, than there is the shadow. So I feel like they are in this transition where they are facing their shadow and overcoming it with light. It's almost like what I'm seeing is just the light is just going to pour over the rest of the planet. They feel like they're on the precipice of a breakthrough. I do feel like this eclipse energy, I was asking about the eclipse energy, and this moon cycle here as well. I do feel like this eclipse energy that's starting, I think it's next week, the end of October and into November, I do feel like it's going to be very pivotal for these masculines for breakthroughs. But that's if they don't resist it. That's if they humble themselves, surrender their pride, surrender their ego. That's if they allow themselves to really dive deep within. And it's not just about diving deep within, but it's about integrating everything that you discover there within yourself. So, interestingly enough, the sun came out for the divine feminine, and I feel like that's part of this energy. It is her love that is, and we'll see this later, her love that is really guiding the masculine. She's in the sunshine. She's feeling really peaceful. She's feeling really good. She's feeling abundant. She's feeling happy. There's no lack within her. She's feeling whole. She is on her path and knowing that she's on her path. And really focused on herself. This nourishing energy coming through with a pool of water here. This feels like this Ace of Cups. She's loving herself. She's learned how to love herself. She's learned how to give to herself. She's learned how to honor herself without abandonment, betrayal, or self-rejection or neglect. She's learned how to not sabotage her own self, her own soul anymore. And I feel like because she's in this energy, it's helping to shine some light for the divine masculine. Between the two of you, you had the Caring Connections card. This is the two of you. The link is what I'm hearing. The link between you, that tie between you, that cord between you. I don't like to use that word. It feels like a link that really bonds you together. I'm seeing a bridge, and I keep getting this metaphor of bridges. Bridging the gap, mending those fences. That's what this really feels like. I do feel very much like there is this bond that you feel, and I feel like this is energetic. I feel like you can feel each other energetically. This doesn't necessarily feel like it's the physical world yet. It could be. Take it as it resonates for you. But there's a bridge that is being built. The link, what I'm actually seeing is a link that was really neglected, or you know how like a chain link fence. I'm seeing like a linked cord. What the heck do you call that? Like a chain. You know, chains have links in them, right? You're holding one end, they're holding the other, and I'm seeing it had gotten very rusty because it was neglected. And what happens when it's neglected, it becomes damaged, rusty. There's some destruction there. It can't last for long. But what I'm seeing is it's actually being mended. It's being polished energetically. And that's going to relay itself into the 3D if you're both putting in that work, if you're both putting in that effort, if neither of you are neglecting yourselves first and foremost, neglecting your own lives, and if you're not neglecting this connection. So there does seem to be some healing that's happening energetically. For the divine masculine, interesting energies coming through here. We have the Eight of Swords, we have the Hermit energy, and we have the Ten of Pentacles. I feel like this masculine is very much trapped in their mind. They have the ability to free themselves, but they keep, every time they step out of this circle of thought, this pattern that just keeps them trapped, every time they step out, they step right back in. there's like a thought that pulls them right back in. It's like they don't know how to break free from this. I feel like they're trying. I feel like, again, there's some healing energy that's happening here. And I feel like when they're in meditation, when they're in dream state, when they're daydreaming, when they're just in quiet mode, sitting in the silence of themselves, I do feel like they're dreaming of this connection. They're dreaming of their happiness. They're dreaming of their Ten of Pentacles. I do like that it's a Ten of Pentacles versus the Ten of Cups, because I feel like the Ten of Cups is like it can stay in the daydreams. It can stay in the emotions. With the Ten of Pentacles, it's like, how do I make that a reality? Wanting to make that a reality, wanting that to be their actual life, and that's pushing them forward. But there's still some resistance. Every time it's like they take a step forward, it's like they take a step back and get themselves caught back in this loop. The Hermit feels like Four of Swords energy. I do feel like they're going within and examining these patterns, examining their thoughts. They have to be in control of their mind. But it's not just their mind, it's their emotions as well. I feel like there's a lot of overwhelm here. I feel like this Hermit energy is a call to rest. I just saw 8, 9, 10. 8, 9, 10. So there is progression here. There is this opportunity, but they have to make that choice to step out, to shift that pattern, to shift that thought, to shift that perspective for good. And it's all about perspective. It's like they're keeping themselves trapped because they don't want to see something about themselves. They don't want to see something about the circumstances. They don't want to see something about their life. They don't want to see something about the past version of themselves. Whatever this is, they were just blindfolding themselves, deceiving themselves, keeping themselves trapped. And as such, they were keeping themselves away from this happiness that they truly wanted, and perhaps even that they had. So I feel like your person is gaining wisdom with the owl here, really in contemplation, in consideration is also what I'm hearing, really going deep within themselves, to get themselves out of this Eight of Swords energy. I'm also hearing the message that some might be going to therapy, counseling, doing some studies, not of a spiritual nature, but like actual like studies. How can I communicate better? How can I handle conflict better? How can I handle my finances better? How can I handle relationships better? Like doing like actual courses or listening to podcasts or reading books to actually like make their life better, choosing to work on their life. Because they don't want to be in this energy. So that might be specific for some. For others, I do feel like there's this very trapped feeling, but again, they have to break free from this. This is up to them. This is them. I'm hearing this energy of, or feeling this energy and hearing this message of being their own savior. They have to make this choice for themselves. Nobody's going to change their life for them, and they're beginning to really understand this. They're keeping themselves trapped. Nobody's doing this. Nobody else is doing this. But they've been in such victimhood for so long that this is what they know. This is what they're comfortable in, almost like blaming other people rather than taking self-responsibility and saying, oh, I can shift this myself. I can make different choices for myself. I can make different decisions for myself. I can accept personal responsibility. I can accept accountability. I can listen to my inner wisdom. I can listen to my heart and let my heart guide me. I can create this for myself. It might take some work. It might take some shifting of patterns. It might take some different choices, but I can change this for myself because I recognize how to end cycles now. I recognize how it's all within me. Shifting the pattern is all within me. Shifting my life is all within me. It's up to me. Beginning to really understand this. I'm also hearing it's not from the outside in. They might have been trying to do that. They might have been trying to do things differently externally. But unless you're healing the energy within, nothing's going to change. You're still going to be trapped in this. So I feel like they're beginning to understand that it's from the inside out that change has to happen, that if you shift within yourself, then your physical world changes, has the opportunity to change. But they were trying to do things, either they were trying to do things the same, hoping that that would shift everything, or they were trying to change things in their physical world, maybe a different job, maybe a different car, maybe a different finances, maybe a different relationship, not realizing that it's still a repeating pattern. They're seeing the exact same thing happen because they weren't shifting within themselves. They weren't healing within themselves. They were still in the same energy, the same version of themselves. It was just their external situation that was a little bit different. It looked different, but it was still the same energy. So they're beginning to understand this, and I do feel like they're wanting to move forward towards this Ten of Pentacles, wanting this happiness, trying to determine how do I make that a reality, trying to listen to their inner wisdom now, wanting and trying to break free. Again, I see progression. They're wanting and trying to break free from this Eight of Swords by listening and going deep within themselves. That's how they create for their life. Over here, on the feminine side, I feel like you are very balanced, Divine Feminines. I feel like your current energy is you are feeling the love for your Divine Masculine. I feel like you're in this Queen of Cups energy where you're just very at peace, you're very calm, you're very nurturing, you're very loving, but you're also in this Emperor energy. You are balanced between the two. And look how both are looking towards the masculine. It's not that you're focused on them. It's not that you're in communication with them. You might be in communication with them, but what I mean by that is you're not trying to fix them. You're not trying to heal them. You're not trying to do their journey for them. You're just kind of sending loving energy their way. Just having compassion for them, having love for them, unconditional love for them. That's what unconditional love is. It's just kind of a letting go. It's saying, I love you. Do your journey. Do your part. That kind of thing. Because it's up to them. You know, even though you might be twins, you might be sacred partners, you are both on your individual journeys. And that's when you come together in that wholeness, in that healthy relationship, in that healthy sacred union. But you both have to do your work. You both have to do have to experience your own individual journeys. So with the Queen of Cups and the Emperor here feels very stable. It's almost like the Emperor here it's like this is her inner masculine that's providing that stability so that she can send loving energy to the masculine without attaching to it, without without that need, without that attachment, without that clinginess, without that anxious attachment kind of energy. She's very stable within herself, but also she is in her feminine, loving nature. I'm also getting the energy with the Magician here. Number one, this is her self-mastery with this inner union. They do want to say that too. But number two, what I'm getting is I do feel like she is manifesting healthy, conscious masculine. If this person's doing their work, it could be this person who is transforming. Otherwise, it could be somebody that she is calling in that she doesn't quite see because maybe her back is turned. Maybe she's looking towards this masculine and there's somebody who is actually a healthy, conscious, divine masculine that is like, hey, I'm here. I am the Emperor. I am here. That she has been manifesting. So it's going to relate to everybody in a little bit of a different way. Just allow it to unfold. Don't force it. Don't worry about it. Don't anticipate it. Just allow it to unfold. But for the greater energy, I do feel like this is her inner masculine that is kind of like providing that stability and that security and that balance, that groundedness that she needs in order to be the divine feminine. Because remember, the masculine really protects, provides, and upholds the divine feminine. He is her rock. That's what this feels like. It feels like he is her rock. I've got your back is what he's saying. I've got your back. Her inner masculine is saying, I've got your back. You can feel your emotions, express yourself to the depths of your ability as much as you need. Be the loving energy that you are. I've got your back. I can hold space for it. That's what her inner masculine is saying. So she's able to have her own cup full for herself and just extend love to her masculine as well. This is her self-mastery. Beautiful energy there. What is this eclipse shifting? So we have darkness, and again, that kind of energy, and you see this is like an eclipse, and we have sovereignty, and again, I feel like this is the divine masculine. They've been walking this path for a very long time in the darkness, but it's also been showing them their own inner strength, their own inner power. The distorted masculine feels like they have to claim power from others, that they have to control others or manipulate others, that they have to, even if it's a very well-intentioned energy, the distorted masculine still says, oh, you need to do it this way, you need to do it that way. They're very inflexible. The divine masculine is disciplined, But because they're balanced in their feminine energy, they are also flexible. So it's discipline, but flexibility at the same time. And the divine masculine recognizes I can't control anybody but myself. And so by me being in my own inner authority, by me being in control of myself, not in control as in rigidity, that's why they wanted to say that message of being able to be disciplined yet flexible. So it's not rigid, it's not control in that way, but by then being able to recognize their own inner authority, that they don't have to hold power, dominion, or control over anybody else, that everybody is walking their path, that everybody is where they're meant to be, that they don't have to fix anybody, they don't have to heal anybody, they don't have to change anybody, that they just hold space, that they just support, that they just love. The more, from the masculine standpoint, the more that they recognize that it's not about controlling others. Again, we keep getting King Arthur energy. King Arthur was somebody who led. People wanted to go into battle with him. People wanted to be served by him. He served as their ruler. Not because he forced anything or controlled anything, but because of his heart, because of who he was, because of his own leadership ability. Having a leadership ability is not controlling, it is guiding. And you can't lead, you can't guide unless you connect with and understand yourself. You have to know yourself first. That's what this feels like. This feels like recognition of themselves, coming out of the darkness to really understand themselves and their inner authority, their inner soul on a new level. There's a lot of energy that's supporting this right now. I'm also getting, we have the 40 and the 41, so a lot of progression energy, a lot of forward movement and progression here. I'm also getting this energy of they're receiving a lot of insight into who they thought they were and who they really are at the soul level. I feel that as well. I feel like that's part of the darkness that they're coming out of. It was like a lifelong dark night of the soul where they hid behind a mask, where they didn't allow themselves to see the true heart or soul of who they are. And now they're beginning to be pushed in that direction to really see the truth, see where they were behaving, where they were acting out of alignment with who they truly are, for whatever reason, acting out of alignment, and now it's all about coming into alignment. For the divine feminine, we have beauty and we have protection. So I do feel like she's still in this kind of like cocoon of divine protection, but she is standing out with regards to her inner beauty. Especially her inner beauty might be coming out within her outer beauty. I'm also getting this energy of taking care of yourself, taking care of your body. That's what this feels like too, but she really just feels like she is focused on herself. She's focused on, in a beautiful way. This also, I'm getting beauty, I'm getting this Libra energy from this as well. This feels like balance. So where she might have been overcompensating, overgiving, self-sacrificing, there's this balance that's coming in where she's taking care of herself. She might have been running herself ragged. I'm hearing the word haggard. That's the word, haggard. Like running yourself ragged, that kind of energy. But she's taking care of herself and nourishing herself again. And I feel like that's protection as well. That balance is protection for her. Where she has been draining her energy, or her energy has been drained, she is learning to have very healthy boundaries, and this feels like divine protection as well. I'm also getting the energy that this could be divine protection as far as whatever the masculine is going through. Your masculine does not want you to experience this, divine feminine. Your masculine does want to protect you from their energy, what they're going through. I do feel like they want that love, that they want to feel that love, but I do also feel like they want to protect you because it's heavy stuff that they're going through right now. So I do feel like you're protected, divine feminine. I feel like you are just kind of self-focused. I feel like you are really nourishing and taking care of yourself, which is going to help you blossom, which is going to have a ripple effect on everything around you, including the world around you. The release card came out for the union energy, and I do feel this message of release for your transformation. The more you allow yourself to release, the more this transformation is being able to take place. And I do feel like that's what's happening with this eclipse energy. I feel like more is being released. What that is, I'm not getting a clear picture. It could be old versions of yourself, it could be old dynamics, whatever this is, but there's transformation that is coming through. There is new energy that's coming through, and I'm just hearing the message of release for the transformation. This card actually came out in the reverse. I don't take reversals. I just read the energy or feel the energy, and whatever it is that comes through comes through. But I am feeling that kind of reversal energy. It's like where you weren't releasing was just kind of holding you back. So keep allowing yourself to release any energy that still needs to be transformed. There's transmutation that is happening here, especially with this eclipse energy. Okay. Then I asked, what needs to be surrendered for the masculine and the feminine? What needs to be surrendered for the masculine is the ego and fear, which is exactly what we were talking about here, especially with the Eight of Swords here, kept in the ego, trapped in the ego. And I feel like the reason why they keep replaying this egoic loop, keeping themselves trapped there, is because of their fear. What's on the other side? What happens if it all crumbles? What happens if I lose everything? What happens if I lose myself? You find yourself. You find your true self. But there's a fear, there's a holding on, because what happens? What happens if I let down my pride? What happens if I humble myself? What happens if I fall to my knees and feel everything? Well, yes, there's going to be pain there, but there's also going to be hope. Yes, there's going to be fear there, but there's also going to be love. God will not forsaken you. And that's what the divine masculine is beginning to understand, that God does not forsaken. Ever. Ever. God has always been there. It was just the illusion of separation. It was just they were feeling abandoned. They were feeling neglected. They were feeling rejected within themselves because of their past patterns, because of their past traumas, I want to say, that created a pattern of ego, where ego just tried to protect them. So they built up this wall in their mind where they were like, I can't express my feelings. I can't accept this change. I can't accept whatever it was. So they kept themselves trapped, but it was all out of fear. And I love this energy. This feels very much like divine masculine. Just, he's like going pow, like just breaking through those walls, just breaking through those fears. Just such strength in that energy. And look, that little symbol there reminds me of the link, the chain link that we were talking about. It says a big ego can work against you. Humility furthers your goals. Cultivate gratitude, be of service to others, come from your heart. Let go of the fearful stories you are telling yourself. Stay in the moment, focus on solutions, and celebrate every baby step forward. Again, 20 seconds of insane courage, insane bravery. See what happens. See what happens when you reach out. See what happens when you allow that pride to humble itself, when you allow that ego to quiet, when you allow soul to step forward. See what happens when you reach out. Not just to your counterpart, but what happens when you reach out to people that you need to support you. See what happens when you reach out for encouragement. See what happens when you reach out for a new job, when you ask for a promotion, when you, whatever it is. See what happens. Just keep seeing what happens, because the universe does not deny you. And any place there's rejection, just allow yourself to be redirected. Just keep letting go of the fear. Don't let the fear or the ego build walls up. Keep letting that go and just keep going. Where, if you're redirected, if you're rejected, quote unquote, you're redirected. So keep seeing where that redirection takes you, because that redirection is a universe that's trying to guide you. Beginning to understand that. Very minute glimpse of that, but they're beginning to understand that. I feel like that's going to open up more with the eclipse energy. For the divine feminine, surrender to divine timing. Not at all surprised to see this card. Sometimes divine timing may differ from your ego's timing. If a goal isn't manifesting fast enough according to your ego, be patient and trust the universal flow. So both of you kind of surrendering your ego. Divine feminine, you're surrendering the ego when it comes to wanting to control the linear timeline of this. And I do feel like you've really released this. I feel like that's part of the transformation here. When we said, release to allow this transformation to happen, I feel like you have really let go of expectation. You have let go of just wonder and worry, where you're again very self-focused. I feel like you're in this place of you're not missing anything. Yes, you might be missing things, but you're not feeling that lack. You're not like, when is it? What is it? Who is it? Why is it? How is it? You're not like questioning over and over and over in your mind that attachment, that loop of this connection or of this journey has really been released. And so now it's like it just feels like you're just kind of walking your path. And it feels like you're just kind of like, okay, God, I have faith. What's meant for me will be meant for me. What's meant for me is meant for me. And you're just kind of saying, you know what? Just keep showing me. Just keep showing me what I need to see. Just keep showing me what I need to know. You're really surrendered to the timing of this, to the divine timing of this. And if you haven't gotten there already, that's where you're headed. And that's what you're surrendering now. Okay, then I want to see how you feel about each other. And I have, where was this card? Oh, I'll get to that in a second. I have hope and I have family. And I feel like this divine masculine really, I feel like they're really seeing the truth of this connection with you. And I feel like it's because they are looking at it energetically and not just with their physical eyes anymore. I feel like this Ten of Pentacles is this family card. I feel like this is part of that daydreaming energy, this hope. They have hope for this connection. They have hope for you as a family. They want to build something real with you, really committed with you, a relationship with you, family, home, and hearth with you, have everything with you. This is complete wish fulfillment and happiness. And I feel like they truly want this with you. I feel like they are looking at it with a new lens, and they're having hope for you coming together because they have always felt you as their family, but now their eyes are really opening. Their perception is changing. Where they were in resistance to it, now I feel like they're seeing this with clearer eyes. Clearer distinction is what I'm hearing. Some of you, not all of you, but this might be a specific message for one or two. I do feel like they want to have children with you as well. That's part of the family dynamic. But at the very least, they feel like you are soul family. They feel that sacred bond with you. And again, this is them not just looking at it physically, which is where I think they got themselves caught up in their mind, but allowing themselves to feel the energy, allowing themselves to feel the emotions. I feel like the emotions were very overwhelming for them, so they had cut themselves off from it. They had shut themselves down, which is what created resistance in the connection and what had created that runner-chaser dynamic, or at least the runner dynamic, the avoidant dynamic. I feel like it's because they had such deep emotions, but they didn't allow themselves to really go there. Because it was painful. That was part of their ego. That was part of their protection. But I feel like that's all shifting with this energy. So I do feel like they have new hope for this connection. Divine Feminine, you have trust. I feel like you are opening up yourself to this connection again, wanting to learn how to trust. And I feel like if you're not trusting the physical, which is fine, which is justified even perhaps, depending on your situation, I feel like you're at least trusting the energy again. I'm getting a lot of energy here, so I feel like you're very much connecting energetically, and it's almost like that's enough. That's enough for me is what I'm hearing. That's enough. I'm happy with that. I can feel that. I can feel the unconditional love. I can feel the bond. I can feel their higher self. I can feel my higher self. I can feel this connection. It doesn't, not like it's enough like forever, but I feel like divine timing. That's where you're like divine timing. It's enough. I can trust in this connection. I can trust in this divine timing. I can trust in what I'm feeling energetically, and I know that some way, shape, or form it's going to play out because I'm manifesting it. Because, and not just that you're manifesting it, like this is divine connection because it's meant to be that kind of thing. So I feel like you're opening up to the connection again, at least energetically, where you are trusting in the higher self. You're trusting in the energy that you're receiving. We can talk about that more at a later time. Interesting, as I was shuffling these cards, the Temperance card was mixed in with that, and I hadn't even realized it. Temperance is a union energy. It is a balancing out energy. And what I love about this is she has her eyes closed, but she has one eye open. It's like this energy. It's like I'm getting this energy of like, hey, you're cheating. It's supposed to be eyes closed. But I like that the one eye is open because it's like the eyes are opening, especially for the divine masculine. This is on the masculine side. It's like the divine masculine eyes are opening. Divine feminine eyes are closed. She's just in this place of peace and faith. She's like, I've got this. Divine masculine eyes are open. It's like because their eyes are opening, because they're breaking free from the old pattern. And it does feel like this yin and yang energy here. I can't, there's a message coming in with that. There's an analogy coming with that, but I just can't grasp it. It's almost like there's that yin yang dynamic. There's that divine masculine that is guarding or protecting the feminine energetically by keeping a watchful eye as she is holding that space, as she is in this place of continuing to walk her path. So it's actually beautiful what's happening from the higher perspective, where she is continuing to focus on herself and focus on her self-love and focus on her path. And the divine masculine, his higher self at the very least, is protecting her, guiding her, not guiding her, guarding her. So there's this balancing out that's really happening here. And temperance is my union energy. One of my union cards, I have the Three of Cups and the Temperance as my union cards. And I do feel as if this union is aligning energetically. You may not be able to see it in the 3D, but it's aligning energetically. Okay, so then for the union energies, we have romance, we have flirt, and we have spark. So I do very much feel like there is a lot energetically that is happening there. I feel like the spark has been lit between you guys again. I feel like you're very much feeling the love between you. There's the energy of romance. I feel like especially coming from the masculine side, I feel like remember, romance is an energy. It's how you put forth the effort of your love. It's how you express your love. And I feel like that's kind of stirring within the masculine now. That romantic energy is stirring within the masculine, where they had suppressed it and hid themselves down because they didn't want to feel the full force of their emotions. I'm almost feeling like if they allowed themselves to feel the full force of their emotions in the past, they felt like this connection would completely undo them. They would get so lost in your love because it was so intense and so deep. But now they're learning how to balance that out. They're learning how to handle their emotions. They're learning, it's almost like what I'm hearing is, I'll take that leap. I'll take that chance. I will take that chance of getting completely lost in this love, in this connection, in your love. I'll take that chance. Their heart is just expanding, which is really beautiful. And you have the flirt card between you, and I feel like that's just this playfulness that's wanting to come out between you guys because you're feeling the heat and the spark of this connection. This is not just one thing. This is not a one-dimensional relationship. It's fifth dimension, right? It is energy. It is emotion. It is physical. It is sexual. It is chemistry. It is spiritual. It's not just one thing. It's not a shallow connection. This is everything. This is everything. And that's what had been pretty overwhelming. So then I got these cards out and I said, okay, what do we need to know now? Like what message do we need to know as far as what the potential shift is? And for the divine masculine, what was this? Yeah, it was this and this. For the divine masculine, we got the clock. So it's interesting. Divine feminine has divine timing. Divine masculine has a clock. And it's almost like time is ticking. You've got to figure this out. You've got to make choices. You've got to make decisions. You've got to take actions. You've got to do for yourself. You've got to do for your life. It's almost like the universe is pushing this. We also have, it says, need time, takes time, in time, cycles, time to heal, and progress. Remember when we had that forward progression energy? We also have the time to heal, which is very interesting because over here, the divine feminine got self-indulgence. Again, remember we were talking about how she's focused on herself. She's walking her path. She is honoring herself with that self-worth. You also have time to heal. So you are both healing within your separate corners. You're both healing within your individual life phase right now. If you are in separation, if you're not in communication, you are both healing. Or if you are in communication, there's still healing that is happening individually. And that's what this really feels like. So for the divine masculine, I feel like they're feeling kind of the pressure of time, wanting to move forward. And it's not the pressure of time as in anybody's pressuring them. It's that they're feeling like they want to make a change for themselves. They're realizing that they don't want to live the rest of their life the way they had been living. It doesn't feel good to them. It doesn't feel comfortable to them. It only felt comfortable to them because their fear was greater than their desire to change. But now they're having this desire to change and they're feeling the pressure of time. Not time as in like a human construct, but the desire to change, to push you forward, to make a difference in your own life, wanting to heal. That's what this feels like. And over here again, Divine Feminine is in this place where she's like at peace and loving herself and even indulging in herself, indulging in hobbies, indulging in her career, indulging in her loves, indulging in whatever it is, her friends. She's healing from that angle. So Divine Feminines, you might have experienced a lack of self-worth in the past, a feeling of insecurity, even when it comes to this connection. And I feel like you're really healing that and honoring yourself and really indulging in yourself where there had been lack previously. I feel like you're really filling yourself up and indulging in yourself. So this is really, really beautiful. Yeah, we have the word self-appreciation as well. So this is really beautiful. And what's between you guys? We had the heart with the key, welcoming love, meeting the one, open your heart, getting together, perfect. And beneath that was love, unconditional love, self-love, oneness, passion, affection, attraction. So between you guys, there is so much love. And I feel like somebody holds that key there. What are you going to do with that key? Are you going to free yourself? However this is resonating for you, are you going to free yourself and open yourself to love? Welcome in that love. Feel that oneness and that unconditional love. So I feel like both of you, from different angles, are opening up the door to love. Whew. All right, you guys. Let me know how this resonates for you. Hit that thumbs up for me. Leave me a comment. Let me know. I am sending you so much love and so much light, and we'll see you soon. Bye.